Danite Radio.
Welcome to the Counter Revolution.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the lunchtime story?
Yeah.
I guess we
Why
are.
do you start so late, dude?
Just to make you
Piss
mad.
me off. All right.
Welcome back. I'm Shadow.
Rock dog.
And I'm Andrew,
Andrew.
formerly known as Drew.
What is that? What happened? Why did we change? Should
All
I be
right.
calling you Andrew?
You can call me whatever you want. I used to have a complex with it. When I got out of high school and got all my stuff together, I decided to do like a whole personality transformation. And so I started referring to myself as Andrew instead of Drew. It was just sort of to draw a line in the sand between previous me, like a rebirth, so to speak. So
Oh,
That's
dude.
perfect
So-
for the next podcast. What are you doing?
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So Andrew's his number 24 name.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what that means. That's okay though.
Have you? There's
Kobe,
a,
Oh, Kobe.
Because he switched names.
Have you heard? Do you
Oh,
know
yeah.
who Tosh Porno is?
Yeah.
Daniel Tosh.
Yeah.
He does a joke that goes, "I love how people put their kids in Kobe Bryant jerseys. They're like, oh no, that's number 24. Number 8's the rapist. 24 is the hardworking guy."
Yeah, exactly. So that's my 24. Yeah. Not a rapist.
Nah, Drew is
anymore.
not a rapist.
Yeah.
Andrew, sorry. So here's the thing.
You can call me Drew. You can call me Drew.
I-
I just introduced myself as
I
Andrew.
saw you at
Walmart.
no
Oh, no.
before that
Oh, really?
CJ's funeral,
Oh, right. Oh,
and
man, I
your
forgot
wife
about
was
that.
there, and
Yeah, she's hot, right?
she is hot. But I was like, she said, "Yeah, Andrew was telling me this," and I was like, who is Andrew? Like, I had never even heard, like, I didn't even know that was your full name. I guess I should have known, but I was like, no, this is Drew, lady. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? But no, yeah.
Well,
so,
I've gone by Drew since
yeah.
4th grade when I lived out in Dugway, so not
sure.
very many people knew me as Andrew besides my parents. Even my brother, up till the day he died, called me Drew.
Really?
Yeah, just
Well,
the way it is.
I feel like leaving the past in the past, so I'm going to do my best to call you Andrew. But
Oh, no, don't even
no,
worry about
I
it.
know
I'm
you're not
stressed.
worried about it, but I like that story. I like the way that goes. So, Andrew took me to this chick's house at lunch one time and knocked me out, bro.
Ashley.
Ashley.
Yeah,
Oh, maybe I did hear that.
I did.
Serves you
I did.
freaking right. You probably deserve
So
it.
when we were in high school, I had this
No.
idea with some buddies. Is Matt Pennington, Trevor. Can't remember Trevor's last name. The Indian kid.
Yeah, Lopez.
Lopez. Yeah,
Yeah.
which he's like super ripped now. I saw a picture of him on Facebook.
He is?
He used to be a turtle,
Oh, dope.
but
used to be a turtle.
yeah, but he could scrap. That was what was crazy about
Sure.
it. And he had that like Jedi Skywalker
Oh
thing
yeah,
hanging
for
down his
years,
neck.
dude.
But he would.
For years.
He wasn't afraid of anything. He was awesome.
Yeah.
So we started this fight club our sophomore year, and saw Rocky at lunch or something. I was like, "You should come to Fight Club," and he said, "Yeah," and I couldn't believe it. I just was like, "All right, cool." So we went and we scrapped, and I got a lucky right to the chin.
He says lucky, but he was setting me up, bro. I could tell.
He baited you in,
Yeah.
slipped you. Boom!
I mean, he was setting feints, dude. Feint. And the next thing I know, I'm stumbling backwards, holding my neck.
I was just trying to avoid those sledgehammers at the end of your arms.
I do have big hands.
Yeah. All I could see was those. Like,
Nah, so yeah.
yeah, it's a great story. I
Well,
still
good.
tell
It is
it.
a good story.
The only reason I tell it is because you're a giant.
No, it's a good story, dude.
When
I
David
get
slayed Goliath.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You got a lot of cred.
God was on your side.
Yeah.
And Goliath was kind of a pansy. So you got two things going for you.
Yeah. Worked out.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you. I
So-
wish I could have been there.
Have you guys heard the latest about old Mitchie McConnell?
No.
Good old cocaine Mitch.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
Oh no, it's a reference from a podcast I listen to. They call it Cocaine Mitch.
Oh, they do? That's funny.
It is funny.
We're stealing that, whatever podcast that is.
What
That's ours
podcast is
now.
that? You can hockey it. We're not scared.
I'm just trying to remember where I heard that. They said good old Cocaine Mitch on it, and I thought it was so funny.
So he came out saying Joe Biden's the president, just accept it,
Oh yeah, I did hear this.
And now the Democrats are accusing him of cheating.
In his own race?
Yeah. Which brings
Is that
up,
Georgia?
I think he's Kentucky.
No, he's out of
No.
Georgia.
I don't think so. No, he's not out of Georgia. He's a senator, and there's 2 senators.
He's in one of the 2 runoffs, right? One of them's Georgia.
No.
It's not Mitch McConnell?
No.
Oh, he is Kentucky.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So he's the Senate Majority Leader.
Yeah.
Right.
And so this brings up something I've been wanting to talk about for a while now. I thought about posting on Facebook about it, but I didn't want to fight at the time. You know, sometimes you're just too tired.
To put it out there.
He is a establishment politician who's trying to stop all the lawsuits about the cheating. You know, notice how everyone's trying to crush it. It seems to be like super entrenched in their position in government, almost like they're like, oh no, don't look into that cheating over there. No, there's nothing to see there. You know, like who else could possibly be cheating? You know, Utah uses these Dominion systems. We got a governor that no one seems to like. Did you vote for Spencer Cox?
I did.
You did?
I did.
Oh my
Cox.
gosh. All right.
I think
End of podcast. Get out of here.
I think Spencer's a stand-up guy.
So
I also think he's a sissy, and I'm a little bit scared for him. But
yeah. Well,
I know where you stand.
Drew's the first person to say he voted for Spencer Cox, but
Well,
I'm
who'd
just
you
saying,
vote for?
I wrote in the Libertarian.
Oh, libertarian? You
Yeah.
just pick one randomly, or?
No, there was one running
Oh, I didn't know that.
legitimately, but I didn't even have to write him in. I just
What's the name of the Democrat? The Huntsman, or that was running for
I don't
governor against
remember.
Spencer Cox?
I don't remember.
It didn't even matter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I voted
just-
against him.
It just seems like these entrenched politicians are a little too entrenched and a little too invested in covering up this.
The whole thing, the
Yeah.
whole voters fraud thing.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, but I mean, have you heard Mitch McConnell talk?
Not
It's
like
who
recently.
Who votes for this guy? He's like,
Oh yeah.
Donald Trump lost the race. We should just accept Joe Biden. Like, you have zero charisma, dude. How are you in office? You know,
I know.
It's amazing.
I know it right alongside Rand Paul too. It was like,
Also,
yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
Rand Paul's eloquent and smart, and he's got his feet dug in the ground as a
Freedom-loving,
constitutionalist.
works for
And
the
then
people.
he's like hanging out with Mitch McConnell
Yeah.
on the weekends.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they hang out on the weekend?
No,
They
they're
are
from the same state.
Yeah, they are
so
from
I
the same
just,
state.
Yeah, that's all.
Well, and Joe Biden's another perfect example of that. He spent 40 years.
Doing
People
nothing.
are like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, who is talking and who's voting for this guy? Like, he couldn't even put sentences together for 20 years, which,
Sure.
not that I can either, but I'm not running for
I'm
office.
not running for office. Yeah, I can sound as dumb as I need to on a daily
Yeah.
basis.
So the appeal I was going to make with that on Facebook was to Democrats, though. Because all these Democrats in the state are like, oh, no. There's no cheating. But it's like, you live in a state dominated by a party that you don't trust. Like, why do you put it past these people to cheat, you know? Like, why do you trust one party not
It's not
to cheat
happening
and the
in
other
reverse.
party?
There's no altruism in this. Right?
Yeah, it's like-
not, yeah.
Republicans are capable, or Democrats are capable of cheating just like you think Republicans are, you know?
Yeah, my thing is that I'm pretty sure that the Republicans were cheating too,
Yeah,
and
that's
they
what
just
I, yeah.
aren't as good at it,
Yeah, for sure.
right? So I'm like, what
For
are we?
sure.
What are we fighting here? Just to say that they did it. Next time they'll say that you did it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we need a system that instills confidence in the process for sure. And
So,
that's-
what do you propose? That's an interesting idea. That's a great thing to say, but what do you propose as far as a system
That is uncheatable.
or is better, is easier to not?
Oh, I
not
don't
cheat
think
with?
it. I don't think at this day and age, with the size of our government and with the technological advances that we have, that it's even possible. There's corruption in power,
I heard,
and it's just going to exist.
I've heard the blockchain could make it possible though.
I don't know what a blockchain
I don't
is.
either, but it's how I don't know how it works, but it's how they make Bitcoin
Oh yeah.
through the blockchain. But each individual person can get a blockchain like from their phone, so you know it's them casting the vote. It's like
right, because it's like
even more
tracked in code.
Yeah, it's even more dependable than like signature verification, blockchain verification. So
I mean, that makes sense.
There
Every
are
computer has
options,
a IP address,
Yeah.
a MAC address, and
Well,
yeah.
and
So
Florida has some of the cleanest elections ever since
Gore?
whatever- Yeah, ever since Al Gore. Was that 2000 or
2004.
2004?
yeah.
So there's an idea there too where you have to verify for your vote, and then you vote, and when your vote is counted, you receive a message from the voting office. Hey, your vote was counted, just to confirm this is who you voted for. So there's something to be said for even that. You can still cheat the system, but it's harder. It takes more work to cheat the system. So,
Have you guys seen any actual evidence, like presented, like decent evidence presented for fraud, besides the fact that they just are saying that it is?
yeah, there's a video of a lady brings in a table to a polling station, I think, in one of these states that they're claiming it. The same lady throws everyone out at like 3 a.m, says, "Oh, we're done counting." Next thing you know, everyone leaves except for like 5 counters. They start pulling out these black suitcases out from under these tables.
Yeah, that had to be Wisconsin, right, where they found like 100,000 votes for Joe.
I don't know.
Out of
I don't
nowhere.
know. I don't know where it was, but I don't know. But it was like, and then they count, and there was like, they said there could have been like 14,000 per container or something. There was 4 of them. So that was evidence enough for me that we should at least investigate.
Yeah, I'm sure that if you dug deep enough into every precinct, that you could find some form of fraud, right?
Sure.
I'm just not sure that I believe that it could be widespread enough. I mean, we're talking millions of votes.
and
Millions of votes.
institutionalized is the real question.
Right.
Most
Is it-
states, it wasn't millions of votes. It was tight, dude.
Well, the race was tight, but I mean, across the country, you would have to fraudulently cast millions of votes to sway the election. It wouldn't have to be a
But
lot.
you
of
wouldn't have
single-
to you wouldn't have to fraudulently cast them. You'd have to fraudulently count them.
Okay, sure. All right, so count the votes. But I know that the races were tight, and from state to state, it wasn't that many numbers. But we're talking organized crime situation here. We're talking 50 states of organized crime. That's like the biggest RICO case there ever was, if they ever.
But
were able to
that's
prove
happened
it.
historically, though.
say
Fraudulent elections. That's
Sure,
fairly
like-
common throughout United States history. Political machines are stuffing ballots and winning municipal elections and Senate elections fairly commonly throughout.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't read anything on any of that. I have no comment.
No, I get where you come from, and this
Yeah.
is a good conversation to have. But 2 things. First of all, it's shaping up to be Joe Biden's most corrupt politician in world history. From the things
Joe,
if
like
the
himself, like
Joe,
Joe.
if the things pan out from his son, the way it looks like his son was getting paid for him and splitting the profits.
I'm so interested to see
Yeah.
what comes out of that.
It
That's
looks like
crazy.
he might be the most. So
and maybe a pedophile.
you say Rico case, you say Rico case and mafia.
yeah.
It's looking pretty mafioso over in the Biden household, which is fine. Maybe
True.
not. And you could 100% be right. I'm not saying Trump won by any means. You could 100% be right that it was impossible.
Oh,
to
I don't
swing
know.
that
I
many.
just think it's a very interesting conversation.
But either way, we need confidence. We need to do something else.
And we should not be obstructing the investigation of it, even if
Yeah.
it comes out that Donald Trump lost by exactly how much he did. The election was perfectly fair. That's a great thing to
Yeah.
happen in our country. Oh, reassurance that the elections are fair. That's beautiful.
It's also
Yeah, that's a good point. I totally agree. Like, we should definitely allow an investigation to continue. I mean, I just got 2 things on it. Like, first of all, there's like the monetary issue, right? Like, we spend way too much money on garbage investigations. How much money did we spend on Trump in his Russia investigation?
Yeah, that is fair.
that one. Was
I don't know the
garbage.
number, but I know that it's a lot. And, that's
A
crazy.
lot to turn over nothing
Yeah.
for, what was it, 2.5 years?
I don't think.
And
they
even
asked
though
you.
we all know Hillary was guilty.
How much was it?
But how much we spent? I don't know the number.
'Cause
But I know it's in the tens of millions. It's like $40-50 million that we spent on this investigation.
Sure.
But then even look at Hillary, like even though she was guilty, clearly, don't send her an email. But we spent a lot of money on that dead end investigation, right? We spend so much money on it. So if you want to put like a little team on it, you know, cost, you know, a couple $100,000 a year, fine. But I just like the media money that's getting pumped into it, the use of resources and funds in this thing is just, I feel like that the election has been called and we should move forward. And if we want to leave a pending investigation running on it and something gets uncovered, awesome. Or something doesn't get uncovered, even better, right?
Notice.
But it's just like I don't know that we should be holding up the progression of the country at this point.
Notice this guy voted for the mainstream, probably cheating politician, and now he wants to end the investigation into cheating. Just saying. I mean, making my point,
You didn't
bro.
see my liberal tattoo?
Yeah. So
let me open up my shirt.
to be
I
fair,
I voted for Trump. You know, last election I voted for Gary.
Gary Herbert.
No, the libertarian.
Oh yeah.
From New Mexico.
Sure.
Anyway, you know, I typically try to vote libertarian. I feel like that Trump was as close to that as we could get for a winnable person.
Sure. I agree.
Like,
and I didn't vote for him, but I voted for him the second time for sure.
Yeah.
Of that.
So, yeah, I think he was the closest ability to actually win and, you know, at least advance somewhat of a libertarian view. So, don't ever accuse me of voting for the establishment.
I was just teasing you, bro. I was 100%.
I'm being.
So, here's the thing. Point one. In an age where we're spending $10 million a day fighting foreign wars that Trump's been trying to get us out of,
That's a good point.
I don't think it's too much. $50 million. What's $50 million?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
that's a good point.
If it instills, here's the thing. The whole thing about this is now you have 77 million Americans who think that they got cheated out of an election. Like this, it's a very divisive.
Yeah, that's what kills me too. I agree. The divisiveness is bad.
I don't understand why Democrats are like, all right, let's have this investigation. Let's see it through. Let's see what we can fix to make this look better.
Yeah.
And have confidence in the leader, though.
If anything, it adds legitimacy to their
Yeah.
position.
Like
So what are you worried
already,
about unless Joe Biden actually cheated?
Right.
Because if it comes out that he cheated, then suddenly you're looking a fool. Oh, yeah. He's a legitimate president, though.
Yeah.
So what are they trying to cover up?
It's not even that. I don't even know.
They just
You know,
need to
I
hold
don't
it
even
off
know.
until
Maybe Trump lost. And there are good things about Trump losing. Thing number one, the Republican Party's not backing him up. There are 77 million Americans who are pissed that Trump lost. They're not pissed that the Republicans lost.
Right.
There's an opportunity here to kill the Republican Party.
Right.
And start and get a new one, you know,
Yeah.
which I'm all about.
Dude,
like,
both parties.
see ya, suckers.
Yeah.
You know, I'm all about it.
No
So
kidding.
I think that there's always opportunity in this. I think we need Trump in. The way China's going, I mean, I think we need him. But if he doesn't get in, there are good things that can come from it. You know.
Do you have any concern? Like, let's say that this fraud comes out and the election gets overturned before January, 18th or whatever it is. Anyway, you know, say that happens. It's a long shot, but whatever it does, Trump looks weak right now. He's hiding in a cave. He's not talking to the media. He's not even tweeting, which that's super weird, right?
I've seen a lot of Facebook posts from him. No, I didn't
Recently,
know that.
I haven't
didn't know
seen
he was
anything. But
hiding.
he's just. It's not that he's not like coming out and saying I'm staying quiet, but Trump is a loudmouth. He runs his mouth 24/7, and all of a sudden he's got very little to say. I just feel like that what he's done is he's backed himself into a corner of having the weakest burnout of a presidency that's ever existed. Even Obama conceded. He called.
Well, Obama had no choice but to concede. It was the end of his 2 terms.
Yeah, but the Electoral College has voted. I mean,
but they don't know what it is, and there's still options like because Mike Pence is the one that counts them.
And Electoral College votes are sealed.
They're sealed. They can say
hasn't
what they
counted
say.
yet?
No, he counts them on January 6th.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
and Mike Pence can be like, look, until all these court filings are fixed in these states, I'm not counting this. Then we don't know. That's uncharted territory, but he can do it.
That's interesting. I didn't know the VP counted the
Yeah.
electoral college
So
votes.
there's a lot of stuff
That's
that can
scary.
still happen.
That's just a single man counting those votes.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good dude, though.
Yeah.
Pence?
for sure.
Yeah.
Pence? I
really
Pence.
like him,
After
yeah.
watching him debate Kamala
Oh,
Harris,
for sure.
I would vote for Pence.
Me too.
So,
He's dope.
Yeah.
um,
Unless he ran against Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh my gosh, you're speaking our language now.
Right.
Freaking love her.
I think
He's a libertarian liberal, and it's freaking me out, and I think it's awesome.
I think Tulsi should run 2024 in the MAGA party, bro.
Dude, I
The
don't
party
care
that
what party
kills
she
the Republican Party.
Yeah, whatever party she affiliates with, she will most likely carry my vote. I love her. I love her like libertarian positions on rights of the people. I love her military plans, and even though I am against government paying for like college education and socialized medicine and those things, I really like her plan to procure the funding to run those programs. Have you watched her interview where she spells that out with John Stossel?
Is it cutting military or cutting the war?
Yeah, it's cutting costs across the board, especially
Yeah.
within the war machine,
Yeah.
and pumping an insane amount of money back into the federal government. You know what I mean? Which I'm pretty anti-war. So that like perks my ears. I'm just as anti-war as I am anti-socialized medicine and free college educations.
I'm the same way.
Things like that.
For
So
sure.
I don't know. She definitely has got a fairly decent plan. I agree with like 75% of it. You know what I mean?
And that's
So.
amazing to agree with 75%.
Right, because I don't
of these
even agree with
politicians
75% of what Trump says. Like,
My
know if
my
anybody
biggest problem with conservatives is every time you mention we got to cut the defense. If we cut the defense budget, we could afford this. They're like, oh, you want to hamstring our defenses? It's like, if we got out of the wars that we're spending $10 million a day on,
Yeah.
you don't think we could cut some out of the defense budget?
and
Or what
still
about
have technology?
what about the $1 billion building that's in Draper spying on us? We couldn't cut that out, maybe? Like, give me a break.
Well, have you researched defense spending numbers in comparison to other countries?
Oh yeah, it's insane.
We could cut our minimum defense spending by half, 50%, and still be spending more on our military than the next 10 countries on the list combined. Mm-hmm. That's and we need a strong military. We have to be able to protect freedom in the civilized world. But oh my gosh, that is.
But we don't need to be policing the Middle
thing
East
is
either.
like what is there's like 128 sovereign nations in the world or something like that. It's around that. Like, don't quote me. Sorry. There's about 128 or something like that sovereign nations. I believe we're in conflicts in like 115 of those. Or, it's just like there's...
That'd be crazy.
So I was talking to my dad about it like a year and a half or 2 years ago. He's retired military. He's a Green Beret. And he was just kind of expressing to me, like, he's like, do you know how many conflicts we're in? And it was
know.
There's
over
lots of
100.
shady stuff going on.
And
yeah,
it's like,
for sure.
and the media reports on maybe 2 of them.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. But we got guys in combat or
Really
helping.
just they report on the ones that look bad for whoever's in power or look good for whoever they're supporting.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm open to that. That's crazy.
But I mean, we have American soldiers stationed in nearly every nation on this planet.
Yeah.
That seems
you need
unnecessary to me.
Agreed.
We're not letting Germany post up a base here in America, at least not that I'm aware of.
And even since before World War I, we're not even letting them post bases on these two in this hemisphere, on these two continents. Like we've been like, oh yeah, no,
Right.
you're out of here.
But does any other sovereign nation have a military base in the United States that you guys are aware of?
No, but we also haven't lost any wars to anyone.
Yeah,
I doubt it.
enough.
I doubt that they do.
I'm
I'm
just
not-
saying, it just seems like we could roll back some of those World War II era policies that were running.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you on we are in too many countries. But something to think about is we have military bases in Japan and Germany.
Allies.
Yeah, but they weren't.
Right.
And look at how they are now. I mean, there was the chaos of war, the chaos after war, the vacuum. We stayed, and they're a thriving country now.
Right.
We pulled 100% out of Iraq, and look what happened.
Yeah.
And I know, I get it, dude. I'm with you. Like, we're spending way too much money in these countries. We shouldn't have been in Iraq in the first place.
Right.
You know?
Well,
if
Iraq's
you ask
never going to
me.
allow us to, like, be there.
Sure.
And build a democratic government.
No,
you know,
it's not
like
gonna
Germany
happen.
did.
You're right.
You know, Japan did. They allowed us to
yeah.
come in, help stabilize the area.
I don't know if they allowed us, but they didn't really have a choice after.
Well,
we,
Japan didn't. Well, I think
blew cities off
my
the
understanding was that Germany, after the war ended, after Hitler was out of power, was open arms
Yeah.
to America.
Yeah, I think that's true. Especially
I think that
considering
was-
the other option
Yeah,
was
the fear
Red
of
Army.
Soviet communism.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Didn't
so-
really think
but
about that.
It was like,
Yeah, come on,
it
America.
was, oh, please get in here. Take as much as you can get.
You want a military
But they-
base? We got a bunch of them.
And France and England, who also divided up, were like, please, any one of you guys, get in here and help us. The Soviets are gonna.
And I also struggle with, I think we could pull out of Germany, no problem.
Sure, allied
But
countries
the-
we could, but
the
I guess that doesn't really
problem
make
with
any
Japan is our base in Japan is a show of strength to China,
Sure.
which is a country that we need to show strength to.
Yeah.
An actual country that we need to be strong
I know,
against,
right?
you
That's the complexity of it, though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the thing is when we start
Yeah.
diving into it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what politicians go through on a daily basis. I think about this often. Like we sit out here on our podcast or in our cars listening to the radio. I yell at the radio frequently, like, "You guys are idiots!"
Yeah.
You know, like it drives me crazy some of the things politicians say. But like once you get up on Capitol Hill and you start diving into the nitty gritty of every single scenario, whether it's military or whether it's social welfare programs or anything like that. And people say, well, if you do that, this is going to happen. And what do you think about that? And these politicians' brains get turning, their gears get turning. They're like, well, clearly we have to help the people that are struggling, or clearly we have to protect ourselves from this nation, so maybe we should vote that in. And I think that's what those guys are going through every day.
For sure.
Kind of an interesting point.
Well, and then you add lobbying and money on top of it.
Right,
big interest, which doesn't help.
Doesn't help.
So it's already a complex job, but then you have
Well, they're
special
coming to
interests
you-
coming in
Yeah.
with tons of money.
With tons of money and a huge amount of influence and a huge amount of data, probably. I mean, they're not going to come in there and say, do this because we paid you. They're going to come in and say, we're going to pay you to do this, and these are the reasons
Yeah.
why. And it's probably a giant docket of facts.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Unless you're Hillary, just... Anyway.
She's the worst.
She's the worst. I hate her so much. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
So, I just think, and especially now that we're oil independent, thanks to fracking, we don't need to be in the Middle East at all.
Mm-hmm.
And you can say it wasn't about oil, but even the Trumpster said when he got in, we're in there for the oil, So
Yeah, it's not
It's
like
true.
top secret,
Yeah,
right? Like,
so-
that's where the oil is, that's for sure.
so we're oil independent now.
Yeah.
Israel is armed.
I
and
love that.
Dangerous,
That might be my favorite thing that Trump did.
Oh, for sure. Those peace agreements.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have allies now. I just think
And everybody gives him crap about North Korea, but he's the first guy to go in and like treat any of the Kim
That's
Jong
a
whatever.
problem too. That's the crazy part is they have problems that he was rude to Kim Jong. Was it Un that he was called Rocket Man? He was so rude to him. He disrespected a world leader. Then the second he gets in their country, he legitimized North Korean communism. And it's like, well, how do you want? Which side do you want it on? Come
I
on.
know.
For sure.
I know. But it was a big deal. It was a big
Yeah.
deal. I was very excited about it. I didn't see it as Trump like legitimizing communism at all. I saw him as a peace conversation. I feel like Trump is truly an anti-war guy. I know he's got bombs
for
to
sure.
drop because there's things feels like he has to do or whatever, but he's done more for peace in our world than since Reagan and the Cold War? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he's done.
For sure.
way more than Reagan.
And
He did more than Bush Sr. He did more than Clinton.
for sure.
He did more than Reagan.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah,
He's-
probably did more.
oh,
I mean,
for sure.
I'm not super educated on
But
Reagan's
he-
presidency, but
Here's the thing.
Reagan kept us out of war with Russia. which is
Legitimizing
amazing.
North Korea when your family's been in power for 70 years.
They're as
Yeah.
legitimate
You're
as it
legit.
gets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're not. The people aren't toppling that government anytime soon.
yeah.
So at a certain point, you got to do something. But here's my view on war. You might have heard it. I've said it before on the podcast. But if we're not willing to wipe out an entire country, if we're not willing to level a country to 4 inches of rubble, we shouldn't be there. if it's not worth that kind of warfare, it's not worth fighting. You know?
So you're saying if we can't win it clean, like
Yeah.
outright, there's no point going in.
We should have gone into Iraq and decimated it in 2 weeks.
So I remember when you
That's
made this
how far
comment,
more
like,
superior we are.
yeah, I mean, we're definitely superior, right? But
Yeah.
we're also one of the leading nations of compassion in our time.
So why are we there?
Right. Okay. So
That's
hold
the
on.
point.
Hold on. This is
Okay,
all
let's
pertaining
have it.
to your wartime
Let's have
because you're right. Like
Let's have
war
it.
is not
Sure.
compassionate.
Sure.
Right. In any means, we should just be leaving these countries alone. And if they want to chop each other's hands off, whatever. That's their prerogative, right? But I'm just saying that, like, is leveling a country the right way to win a war?
Oh yeah.
That's a
In my mind.
perfect question. The idea is not that, oh, we're just going to start leveling countries. It's if it's not worth leveling a country, it's not worth warfare.
Oh,
And
okay. I get
That's
it.
serious.
Real black and white.
Yeah. So it sounds super extreme, but in actuality, we wouldn't have been in a war in the last, World War II maybe. We certainly wouldn't have gone into Vietnam.
No.
It wasn't worth blowing the whole country off the map. So
Or even Korea.
yeah. There's several armed conflicts the United States would have not been a part of if their policy had been, we're not willing to drop nuclear bombs on this country. We're not willing to go in there.
Well, I think nukes should be avoided, period. But if you could level them with every
So
other...
should war.
We got a lot
so
of
should
Moabs.
war in general
That's-
should be
that's the
avoided.
point.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds super violent and super, let's freaking conquer the entire world, but it's not. It's
And in my mind, I'm in a lot more, a 1.1 million Uyghurs in concentration camps getting their organs stolen is enough for
In
me.
China?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking
Yeah.
about?
Is
Yeah.
enough for me. We should
Yeah.
be taking a hard stand on China, I think. I mean, this is our Nazi Germany, and we're just doing the
just
same
letting it
things. We're
happen.
doing the same things we did. You know?
well, and
Yeah.
we know it's happening. It's not like in the Soviet Union where we're like, oh yeah, they have a prison system, but we didn't know
I'm
the extent
talking about
that
Nazi
it was happening.
Germany, though. They knew it was happening in Nazi Germany. They had a boat full of Jews show up on our east coast or west coast.
They sent
and
them back.
Yeah, they sent them back.
Yeah.
They said, we don't want no part of that.
This is why, why do we trust these politicians? You know, it's retarded. Like, you guys do stupid shit like that, stupid crap like that. And we're supposed to be,
Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
get it. And now we've got 1 million Uyghurs. And the crazy thing, I heard a story the other day. This Chinese propaganda piece. They had a citizen in Japan. She needed a heart transplant. They brought her back to Japan, paid for it, gave her a free heart transplant. The first one didn't work, so they gave her a second one. The second one didn't work, so they gave her a third one.
Were they getting all them
Yeah,
hearts?
where are you getting?
Oh, you're asking the perfect question.
Yeah.
So it
Like in
backfired on
America, they're like, you got to wait for 48
Yeah,
other people to get a heart.
exactly.
And that could be a decade.
Exactly.
Good luck.
But when you're in China, you can just cut it out of a Uyghur and
Yeah, just
You know?
hope it's the right blood type.
Well,
Yeah.
and
exactly.
we have fairly good evidence of them overstepping their the Hong Kong agreement and arresting Hong Kong revolutionaries,
Right.
extrajudicially arresting Hong Kong revolutionaries and sending them off to concentration camps. We have evidence of that happening.
Every year they announce there will be peaceful reunification with Taiwan. This year they took off peaceful.
Oh, really?
There will be reunification with Taiwan.
Well,
So
by force if necessary. Oh, that's crazy.
there are times to fight wars, but Iraq and Afghanistan.
No, I don't think we should have
Yeah.
went there. I didn't agree with either of
And
them.
Yeah,
hindsight is
definitely-
20/20 at the
for
same
sure,
time.
100%. Hindsight is
Plus,
2020.
just looking at the impact of the World Trade Center's 9/11.
Yeah.
That was a huge.
It was huge
deal.
emotional
And-
impact
yeah,
on the country,
yeah,
for sure.
and
yeah.
perfect thing to happen to get Bush back in office.
Yeah.
It worked out great in his
Yeah.
favor. And what? He sent us into 5 different countries in the Middle East, or 8?
Yeah, no.
One of
I
them.
don't know.
I'm
Bush
only
and
aware of
Obama.
2.
One of
but-
them was 5, and I think one of them was 8 countries in the Middle East. That they
I'm
started
not familiar
in.
with those
Well,
stories.
like your dad said, you know how many countries we're in?
Yeah.
No.
All of them.
You would know. wouldn't
Oh,
you?
I just Googled it. 800 military bases. The United States has 800 military bases worldwide.
That's astounding.
And there is not a single foreign military base on
And the-
United States soil.
Oh, thanks for checking.
And they talk.
See, I was right. I know my.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They talk about, the British Empire. The sun never set on the British Empire. Like, we make them look like chumps, bro. Like,
Yeah.
okay, sure.
Yeah.
Look at our empire.
Yeah.
And that's all it was in the British Empire
it's
was
kinda
military
funny.
bases, you know?
We could.
We're less controlling of other countries. We're more like the Roman Empire. We're even less controlling than the Roman Empire was. But the Roman Empire went in and said, here, just pay a little taxes and you do whatever you want, you know?
Until it got too far away.
Yeah.
Oh, we're way better.
Didn't
We're way
last.
smarter than the Roman Empire. We're like, hey,
We got bigger
we'll
weapons.
give you guys money. Just let us in.
Yeah,
And they're now. I think we're in a viable place where if it came down to it, we could go to war with the entire world and win.
Just
Like we
I
have a
just hope that
foothold in
never
every
happens.
country to start off. Like a base platform in every single country in the world to start off. If it came to total warfare,
Hey,
we could.
and who
beat the
knows? It's
entire
probably
world.
filed with aliens. That might be the plan, right?
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. So, what do we got there, Shadow?
35 minutes.
What was your original point? We got way off base.
No, I think that went exactly the way it's supposed
Oh,
to
really?
go.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you did good.
Awesome. All right,
you're,
cool.
You're a good guest, bro. I like your beard, too.
Oh, dude, isn't it sexy?
Yeah.
Like,
Like, have you seen 300?
oh yeah.
Looks just like that. Dude.
I look just like
Do
him.
you
Watch
get
me flex.
Do you
No,
get it
dude.
professionally trimmed or what?
No, dude, I just been growing it a lot of
You
years.
do good work.
Dude,
It
he
looks good.
rubs a
Thank
little
you.
CBD in there. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, let's talk about your business, bro.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I last year, 2019, March or April or something like that, I got approached by my boss at my printing company that I work at. I work at PZ Printing, and my boss named Steve Pilkington. He's a good guy. He came in and he said, "Hey, I want you to, help me start up this program. I'm working with some partners that want to start a CBD company." He started telling me the plan, and I was like, I don't want to work on that. I want to be a part of that, right?
Sure.
So we got invested, and
Sweet.
we started our company. It's called 4D Solutions, and we basically, if you want to call it something dirty, you can call us a broker, but because we essentially are. But basically, what we did was we levied partnerships with PZ Printing, Folium Biosciences, and a local company called Factory 6 Inc., which they are a CBD only contract manufacturing company. And what we do is we've known all these people for a lot of years, right? Like I work at PZ. I've been selling print to Factory 6 for probably 5 years. They used to be a part of a direct sales company called M Network. That's where I met them. And then I got into this. And then my partner, Steve, he had a long-standing relationship with some of the gentlemen over at Folium Biosciences. They ran businesses together and known each other for 30-something years or something like that. Anyway, so the plan was to just bring all these services together into one place, and which is not really that unique of a plan. I think just being transparent about it is what makes us unique. Like, hey, 4D Solutions doesn't actually make anything. We use all these different partnerships to make this work, right? To give competitive pricing, quality product. And then we also, these companies have worked really hard to be good at what they do.
Sure.
So PZ Printing is a giant commercial printing company here in the state of Utah. They're very professional, very good at what they do, cost competitive. Plus I work there, so there's some perks.
Before we get any further,
Yeah.
is it safe to say you're a paper salesman?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
Jim. Or
No,
Dwight. Yeah.
you're Dwight.
Yeah. Dwight.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Anyway,
bro.
so yeah, my wife used to joke. And I'm like,
She's the best. Oh, hot
Yeah.
and funny. dude.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
See.
So
You-
lucky.
you- anyway, so we got together and we just kicked this thing off the ground. The first thing we did was that we opened a house retail brand called Neva. And Neva is just, it's got, your basic tincture products. We got some gummies. We got, a few other things in there. And we're always trying to add new products. And then we also have our contract manufacturing arm, which is essentially just piggybacking off of Factory 6. They helped us build it. And they help us with the proper rates and whatnot to make sure that we stay price competitive and that we're using and we're leaning on all of their certifications and things like that. So they're a very top-notch company to be working with, and they've treated us very well. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And I don't know. Do you want to talk about CBD itself, or?
Hey, man, we're here to listen to you, bro.
Let's have a little background on CBD.
All right, so
Just because people are going to be the same way I was, where I don't have any clue what
Sure.
CBD is or the benefits of it. But.
sure. And let me caveat with I'm not a scientist. I'm a salesman, but I can mostly talk the talk. So there's probably some information that could be more eloquent from the proper person. But anyway, so CBD itself is derived from the hemp plant. The hemp plant is the male version of, the cannabis plant itself. So you got the female plant, you got the male plant. The female plant is what carries dominant amounts of THC, and the male plant is what carries dominant amounts of CBD and low amounts of THC. So we're all familiar with hemp. The hemp plant is the plant of many uses. In fact, in early America, we all know, that George Washington had a hemp-made suit. Hemp farms were massive. They made paper from it. They made rope from it. They made clothing from it. Hemp oil was commonly used in lamps. So it's just the plant of many uses. Yeah, it's just so. Anyway, now
those are the stinkiest lamps ever.
Yeah. So fast forward 220 years. Yeah, 200 years, and we're finding out that on a molecular level that CBD and cannabis, frankly, are extremely helpful for the body and for the mind. Your body contains an endocannabinoid system, so a natural reception process for those cannabinoids that are included. And there's just many uses. Most commonly, people use it for anxiety or topical pain relief, and things like that. So, but you can't say that, by the way. Just FYI, if you're selling CBD, because the FDA has not recognized anything, we can't put on our site or put on our products what it's good for until the data, the science comes out, and the FDA gets behind it. But we can tell you what people are using it for, and they're using it primarily for pain management and anxiety, PTSD, things like that.
So is the FDA working on it and doing studies on CBD oil and THC?
I'm not sure if they're doing any studies, but they are working on the laws and things like that. I mean, they passed the Farm Bill, so I guess the legislator passed the Farm Bill, but the FDA is definitely getting involved. We're hoping to see some legislation soon, some ruling out of the FDA soon on isolates specifically. That's being pushed because of Big Pharma. Big Pharma wants to control the isolate market. And isolate is basically where, you guys probably know, but anyway, so you break down the CBD into its individual, particles or whatever.
Sure.
So you can isolate, in a hemp plant, you can have CBD, CBN, CBG, CBV, THC so you can isolate these pieces of it. You can get an isolate CBD powder, or you can get an isolate CBG or an isolate CBN. CBN's really good for sleep. It really helps. It works well. So we make a lot of products that are CBD with CBN boosted, as well as melatonin. So it really relaxes the body and the mind and puts you to sleep. In a really calm and natural manner. So you can isolate these pieces, and it's basically turns into a crystal, but it looks like powder. It's real fine crystal. Looks like a powder. But what we found is that or at least what I've found just in talking to my client base and using it myself, is that when you use all of the plants offerings together, that's what works really well. In fact, I was just talking to a guy the other day that works specifically in cannabis terpenes out of Colorado, and I had a customer that wanted to have a specific terpene blend to help with specific things like sleep, pain management, things like that. And he was talking to me, and he says that the Delta 8 THC, that the CBN doesn't fully unlock or get used, I'm not sure what the proper terminology is, unless it is joined with the Delta 8 molecule. So the Delta 8, so what they recommend is when you're using a CBN product that you include at least a tiny bit of Delta 8 THC to essentially fully use that within your body. So,
I have heard that.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, anyway, so that's kind of the whole thing in a nutshell. Some of the things that we do that's fantastic is if people wanted to pick up a white label product, like if you're trying to start your own little CBD business or something on the side, you can get really low minimums from us, and you can pick up whatever, you can kind of pick your lineup, pick whatever products that we're offering, and then put your own brand on them and sell them on your own site.
That's awesome, dude.
We can also, through Factory 6, we can do contract manufacturing. So if you have a custom blend or a specific pointed demographic that you're trying to go for, like a lot of soldiers is a big one, and first responders, they suffer from PTSD. So we're seeing a lot of brands right now that are directed they're marketed at those groups because those are the groups, some of the groups that can benefit most highly from it. So,
Sure.
yeah. Anyway.
So, is there like a multi-level marketing element to it, as far as your business model goes?
No, not my business, but there are multi-level marketing
I think you
CBD
guys should
specific.
get into that and go to battle with doTERRA. That's crazy.
I think doTERRA is staying away from CBD right now.
Really?
I know that Young Living just dove in.
Really?
Yeah, I saw something on my LinkedIn about they got some drops in some cute little pink and brown bottles, and anyway, so yeah, but they're no, we're just trying to slowly but surely grow something here. We obviously have our own motives. We want to make money, own our own businesses, and things like that. Capitalism.
Is that what?
Yeah,
How
but
dare
we
you,
also,
sir.
especially for me, is I've
Power
gotten
to the
more-
workers. Just kidding.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
is for me. The more I get into it, the more I see it help people, the more motivated I am by it. It's really helping people out there, and we really need to get people on board who, if you're sick and tired of taking pills on pills on pills all the time, maybe take a minute and try something alternative, and see if it helps you out. It may not. Everybody's system is built up differently, and some people have a stronger effect from it. Like my wife takes CBD sometimes, and it helps her, but it doesn't help her like it helps me. It helps me significantly.
Sure.
So you may have a different type of effect, but if you're sick of pumping Tylenol and ibuprofen down your throat every day, try something new. See if it helps you out.
Yeah, I should definitely try that. Because I take a lot of Tylenol and ibuprofen.
It's so bad for your liver and your brain.
I know.
Like you're gonna stroke out.
Dude, I used to just go through it. I used to just tough it out, and then I hit like 30, and I was like, I'm not doing this
Something
anymore.
about
just
that.
start popping pills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my wife takes a lot of ibuprofen.
Yeah.
She suffers, I would say, chronic migraines.
Oh, that sucks.
And so she just takes ibuprofen or Tylenol so much, it's worried me. So I wanted her to try CBD.
It's good to know that she's not perfect, bro. Funny, hot, but migraines.
Yeah.
So, it's life.
So
Careful with that, not perfect. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, just kidding.
Sorry. Don't hit me, bro. So
what I'm
First of all,
learning is that your desire and drive to commit to bourgeois values has helped you to help people and make a difference in people's lives.
we are the revolution.
Define bourgeois for me.
Capitalism.
We are
capitalist.
We are the
the
bourgeois.
business owner.
The bourgeoisie was the enemy in Soviet Russia and communist China. So
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, man, I'm trying to make a living for myself. Yeah, that's exactly
Drew
what
is
I'm
the
doing.
counter-revolution.
It was slightly satirical.
So
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Way over my head,
You're
bro.
good.
Yeah.
It's all right. It wasn't that funny, anyways. Even for the people that got it.
It was mostly just my chance to like be all pretentious.
So
like,
first,
I'm so smart.
Let's bring it back to
Bourgeoisie.
libertarianism.
Some bourgeois.
I'm hoping the Trumpster signs an executive order that takes pot off the
Me
tier
too,
1
man. Me too.
drug list so we can do research on it.
The research is the biggest thing for me, right?
for
Like,
sure.
I used to be a cannabis user. I'm not currently again.
Also, that would
But-
be just a finger in the face of all them lefties that voted,
That voted
against
against him for
Yeah,
sure.
for real,
sure.
right? Like I did it, not you.
Yeah,
But just the help that it can.
for sure.
We just don't even know. We lost 50, 60 years of research during the Prohibition.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah.
and it just is. And I think that's that way with anything. I don't know if you guys have done any reading or anything on like what's going on with psychedelics right now. Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got the ketamine treatment spot up here in Salt Lake City that's doing incredible work. Out of Colorado, I think it's Pueblo, south of Denver. There's a shop down there it's a therapeutic place. So they do breathing work, but they also use cannabis as well. And they are solving people's problems. People are, I'm not going to know the college, but I was listening to, I don't know my names today, but there's an author that he went and he tried mushrooms and he tried mushrooms in all these different formats. And he was working with a college, that is using it on terminal patients. They're giving them pure psilocybin in a drip, and they're using it to help them cope with the fact that they are going to die.
Sure.
And that's a really hard thing. I can't even imagine. I think about it all the time, and it scares the crap out of me, right? these people are coming out of these treatments with no fear of death, completely at peace with their situation. There's also a lot of studies showing
Michael Pollan?
Michael Pollan. Yeah, exactly.
Sick burn shadow.
No, I just looked it up. I was just trying to be
Thank you, Michael Pollan. He was on Joe Rogan. You should listen to his podcast. It's fantastic.
Okay.
And then so he's just doing this research, and they're finding that low dose psilocybin treatments are curing people of depression.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's solving serious problems.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so just the prohibition against these types of plants and these types of medicines, it needs to be done with.
For sure.
I'm highly against it. I feel like we should find out if it's good or bad, you know, and if it's bad, like that's not really my government's problem. That's my problem.
For all you conservatives out there who think that this is a horrible conversation.
Sorry,
oh boy!
I'm
This
very
turned into a podcast about the war.
So
on
you
drugs.
might think that Drew here is speaking hyperbolically and that he doesn't really know that this has effects like it has. All we can do is let the research happen.
Right.
You know.
Right.
What's the worst can happen? We find out Drew's wrong. We're stuck where we are.
I'm cool
Or
with
we
it.
find out Drew's right.
Yeah, I'd rather know.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
What's the problem? And guess what? If we find out Drew's wrong and people just want to smoke weed and do mushrooms for fun, that's them. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You don't have to take them.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. Like, there's modern medicine. Pfizer exists, right? They got all kinds of antidepressants and anti-cancers.
We just came out with a vaccine that codes your DNA. And you guys are worried about a little pot? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Pot doesn't have the motivation to code anything.
No, it does not. So
Yeah. It's. I mean, and war on drugs, dude. We got another 45 minutes.
We might have to have you back
yeah,
next.
we'd love to have you back, dude.
Because
So,
we have hit the
anytime.
war on drugs. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we
can't hit it hard enough.
go over and over.
Yeah, I can't stand it. Putting people in prison for.
Yeah, you can't. You are not a freedom-loving person if you're against the legalization of drugs.
That's
Sorry,
another-
Dad.
That's another one we think we should.
Dude, America existed for like 170 years with no
Sure.
anti-drug policies. We were fine.
The drugs policy started in what, like the late 60s? I mean,
Nixon, I think.
which was the 70s?
Well, prohibition started in the early 1900s. If
Well,
you
1930s.
That was the drink
against
alcohol.
Yeah.
if
that's
you
true.
want to, that's kind of when anti-drug of any kind came out. Was
Yeah.
prohibition against alcohol.
Yeah.
And they tried it and went, oh.
The fascinating thing for me is like people legitimately say, well, look what prohibition of alcohol did. It created a black market and a bunch of people were murdered from it. And I'm like, really? You should ask the Mexicans who are dying in vats of acid over our prohibition of drugs.
Yeah, no,
Maybe they know, like you're crazy.
I was
So,
just talking to a guy about it the other day, and I think that America single-handedly ruined Mexico's
for
economy
sure.
and government through the war on drugs.
easily.
There's an argument to be made there. That
For sure.
Especially border cities and towns and states. Like, we completely destroyed them with the
Yep.
war on drugs.
Yep.
Yeah.
We
So-
aided and abetted. We didn't destroy them ourselves, but we definitely
Well,
funded the
I
way.
think there's argument that we did. I mean, CIA
Sure,
cover-ups that are all coming
I guess
out. That had been coming
that's a
out.
good angle.
And
to
then
think
we
about
act
it, for sure.
surprised when they like try and leave and come to the United States.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're like, oh, we got to get out of here.
We want to keep your problems down there, sweetie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they say like a lot of the major marijuana cartels, now that it's mostly legalized in the U.S., are like shipping mangoes and avocados
Oh, really?
because they have the infrastructure.
Right.
There's no money in weed anymore, so
Right.
they're like, well, we could probably sell these.
Yeah. Well, I watched a clip from Vice, too, that COVID has shut down the drug market.
Really?
Because they've shut down because travel bans.
Mm.
So they're like, there's like whole communities, like cartel communities, Sinaloa being one of them, that are suffering financially. So they're getting more violent. They're
Poor murderers.
They're figuring out new ways to get money, which is
Sure.
usually through death.
Yeah,
And,
kidnapping, sure.
Yeah, so they're having these huge amount of problems because it got shut down. But
So yeah, I'm not sure if legalization will fix those problems. I'm wondering it might be legalization and sending gentlemen like your dad down there to wipe them
Green
murderous
berets.
Oh,
bastards
yeah.
out. I don't know another way to end that.
I don't know.
You know.
But you look at, like, I always think about, like, Canada, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Canada is a peaceful nation. They are a fairly wealthy nation considering their size. They're a diverse nation, and it's a beautiful place to be. But then you go down to Mexico, just on the other side, just like 1,000 miles away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever it is. I don't know how far it is from Mexico to Canada. 3 states.
We can live with 1,000 miles.
Anyway, so
it's 1,000 miles. Don't question Drew. He knows.
Yeah, I got facts.
He's a CBD salesman.
Yeah. So anyway, like, what happened there? What happened from Canada to Mexico, right? Like, why is Mexico not doing as well as Canada?
Sure. And the answer is corruption.
Corruption.
Overt corruption.
Right.
And a lot of the United States is responsible for a lot of that. But,
Right. I definitely agree.
but,
When we're going in and we're backing specific cartels.
Sure.
And, sorry, man. We're probably getting
No,
over
you're
time,
good,
right?
dude. No, you're good.
I could talk
Keep
about
going.
that all day.
We're going, dude.
Yeah. It's just-
We've discussed it. It's a hot topic. I mean, I think that we are convincing some people, and I think that some people are just never going to be convinced that
right. well,
legalizing drugs is.
I think it'll take another 50 years. I mean, we have to really get past the propaganda generation that started in the 60s and went all the way till now.
Sure.
Till now. They're still running, they're not running the DARE program.
Yeah.
My kids are still doing Red Ribbon Week and they're still doing all that. Like, not that I'm against my Red Ribbon Week. Like, it's trying to teach
Sure.
kids to be responsible human
Sure,
beings. But
education is part of legalizing
But
drugs.
do you remember DARE?
Oh,
I
yeah.
learned way more about drugs at DARE than I did at any party I ever went to. Like,
Yeah.
they had those little books with
Sure.
the weird little kids in them, like
Yeah.
peer pressuring each other. Like,
Yeah, for sure. Mr. Erickson at the Pleasant Grove Junior High taught me how bong worked. So
oh yeah, in 7th grade health class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So funny story about him. This is a little segue. Sorry, I was when I met my wife, we had to go to her high school for some reason, which is weird. I don't even remember why we were there. It may have been there for a basketball game, one of her friends or something. She played on the team there. And I saw Mr. Erickson. He was the principal there at the time. This is
nice.
back in like 2005 or 2006. It was just weird running into him after all
Sure.
those years. But he was a great guy.
Did he remember you?
Yes, he did remember
It seems like
me.
I saw him one time and he remembered me. I was like, that's weird.
I don't know. He was the gym teacher we wanted. No one wanted Boban.
Oh, yeah. Boban.
Mr.
He's-
Boban.
He's
Dude,
still there.
He is?
Yeah, my daughter goes to PG Junior, and that's trippy.
Yeah, that is trippy. He grew on me, and I'm like, the more I had him, the more I liked him. The
You're
best,
talking about Boban?
Yeah, the best memory of him is like kids going into his class and he'd be like, "Is your dad so and so?" Like, yeah. Oh, I beat him up in high school.
Yeah.
Sick bird, bro. Like that's the joke that just keeps giving.
I think my problem with Boban is I did not get his sense of humor. He would give me crap every day.
Oh, yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
I used to run the
high-pitched
mile.
voice, those giant biceps, and he can't walk.
And that bow-legged walk.
Dude, I didn't hate him. Like everyone else hated him. I was like, he's an alright guy.
I didn't hate him.
And I'd see him at
he
the
just gave me a
gym.
hard time, and I didn't get it. And I was young
Yeah.
and scared of everybody.
Dude, we were in the same gym class in 7th grade.
Were we?
Yeah.
With
Now that I
Teddy
think about
and
Yeah, and that Dave Finau.
yeah. Yeah, dude.
We've
what happened
made
to
it a
that
point
guy?
not to say names on the podcast. We've dropped every name
Oh,
in the work
I
here. It's good, dude.
am
It's
super
good.
sorry.
It's
My
good.
bad.
No, it's okay.
I mean, it's not like we're saying anything bad. They're not
No,
going to
man,
see it.
it's-
So,
I'm pretty sure Boban would agree and laugh at everything you're saying. If he
For sure.
even remembered
Oh,
me.
I mean,
right? Like,
He loved me.
he's not going to listen anyway.
Boban did?
Oh yeah.
I liked him too.
Lots of people liked him. Lots of
The
people.
only time,
Yeah.
yeah.
it is.
So I don't know why, but I just started calling him sir. Like when I first got in his class, and that was all it took.
You like
I was
that,
his
huh?
favorite student in that whole class.
Yeah.
Oh, he knows how to show adults respect. I was like, it's not even that. I'm
You
kinda
seem like a
sarcastic.
sir to me,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. yeah.
So
That's fun. That's a long time ago, Rocky.
Yeah, crazy,
It's been a
bro.
very long time.
Crazy. Yeah, we were the same football team. He had
Yeah.
a shirt that said, it was a Blink-182 shirt that said sluts on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Boban
That's how
did?
much I remember. No, you did.
Oh,
I did.
Drew.
I
Andrew.
can't imagine Boban wearing that.
He was Drew back in the day, but he's Andrew now.
Yeah. I think Boban only wears Adidas sweatpants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To church.
Yeah.
With his suit and tie.
Yeah.
They call it
So we
mass,
played
bro.
on the same football team in 8th grade, right? With CJ. Vikings.
I don't think we were ever not on the same team, were we?
Did you play on the Lions with me? The first year I played was 7th grade. I played on the Lions.
So it must have been in 8th grade.
Yeah, it was.
And then they
no
like
names,
divided up
sorry,
the teams.
but-
Yeah,
but-
and it got weird.
Yeah, I liked playing for the Vikings when we
Sure.
played with CJ, and his dad was coaching, and
Yeah.
Trevor's dad was coaching, and that was so fun.
I think that was Warren's dad.
Oh, Warren's
Yeah.
dad. That was Warren's dad. I still see him down at the PG Rec sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that was my favorite year of football. We were a terrible team, but we all loved. We loved to hit people. We loved to play. We were just having a good time. That was my favorite season. It was like a no pressure season. It was just smash. If they got the football, just hurt them.
Yeah.
And it was so fun. And the coaches liked me, which had never happened before in my life. So it was fantastic.
And I was on your team, bro. I was so cool back then,
Rocky.
you know?
And CJ was like this tall.
Yeah. And the hardest hitting person on the team, dude.
It's
Like,
just
he
a
could smash
furious
fools.
little sucker.
Yeah,
I miss that
so,
guy
For
a
sure.
lot.
For sure. So, is there a website that people can go check out your CBD stuff at? No, don't apologize.
Yeah, you can go to...
Don't ever apologize. You're doing good. This is a great episode, so you're
thank
doing
you.
good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be here.
Good.
Yeah, if you want to, we have 2 sites. So our retail brand, Neva, is called, the website is getneva.com.
Getneva.com.
And Neva, no one's going to know this, is a foreign word. I think it's Swedish. I can't remember. One of my partners came up with it. Niva. So getniva.com. Neva means level. So it's getlevel.com essentially.
All right.
But anyway. And then our custom manufacturing site is 4d4results.com.
Is that the number?
That's
4?
Number 4, letter D.
that's
Number 4,
Results.
that's to
results. Yeah.
That's if you want to start your own CBD thing.
Yeah.
You go there.
Yeah. If you're just looking to try the product, go to getneva.com. And if you use Neva Friends, I'll spell that out. It's a discount code. It's NIVAFRIENDS. That'll get you a nice discount if you want to try something.
Dope. I'll have to check
CBD
that
is
out,
expensive,
for
so if you can find a discount,
I
you
get
should absolutely take advantage of it.
sure. For sure.
Yeah. And that code, basically, we're not very technological, is good forever, so don't lose
be
it.
scared.
If you're listening to this podcast and writing it down,
I'll put it
save
in the link.
it.
I'll put it in the bio.
Because I think it's a 2-year-old code, and we
Sweet.
just let it ride. So we want people to buy from us. We want them to feel like they're getting a good deal. So
Cool.
anyway,
We'll try and send as many people your way as we can
Okay, folks.
I think there's 51 of them, right? Yeah.
on a good week. On a really good week.
51. Dude, we're doing good. Huh?
Yeah.
Uh,
I just hear what you guys say. We have 51 followers.
I think we're up in the 60s by now.
I'm one of them, so there's only 50 from here. So.
Dang it. Hey, make sure you go buy CBD, all right? Now,
Use that discount code.
so look, folks, open your minds a little. The church hasn't said anything about CBD. Just maybe it could fix chronic pain. It could fix sleeping problems. You know, you don't know
Even
what
if
it's
you
gonna do.
just want to use it topically, there's somebody who said for it. You can use tobacco topically, so
You
be
can.
open-minded. Yeah,
You're supposed to.
it's intended. For
BYU
bruises.
uses tobacco on their athletes.
This is
on their
news for
athletes,
me. I
yeah.
had no idea. Yeah, I mean the church.
They go get a pack of Camels and rub it on you. And
I doubt that's the tobacco that they're
Ah,
using.
you think?
Yeah, they're probably using like whole
I have
leaf, real
visions of
natural.
I think
cigarettes.
the church actually has a tobacco farm, and they.
Oh, really?
I think so. That's my understanding.
That's
but-
interesting. Yeah, you know the word of wisdom. It's moderation in all things, right? I don't think you should go out and buy, an ounce of weed and smoke it all the night. You know what I mean? But I think that if you're having some issues, if you're
but
having
over
some
2
troubles,
days, you know.
yeah, that's a lot of pot. But
Well,
You know.
Mr. Erickson taught me how to build a bong. So
yeah, perfect, fantastic. Yeah, you should definitely try it. I mean, it's good for you. And the church wants us to follow the laws of the land, right? So CBD is legal, cannabis is not. So if you're looking for something in that realm or something a little more natural to try CBD. And if cannabis becomes fully legal, or if you have a medical card, then more power to you. But follow the laws of the land and use all things in moderation.
are we accepting medical cards in the state now?
Oh yeah, definitely.
okay.
Yeah, I know several people carrying cards. Yeah, absolutely.
Card carrying members of the Get Tons
Of
of
the Weed
Cannabis
RA.
Club.
Get lit club.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, every single person I know that has a medical card is either military or first responder or previous first responder. I don't think they could be a current first responder, but
Sure.
most of them are veterans, though. Yeah.
So there you have it, folks. Drew's a super good dude. We got a long history together. He's a super good guy. So if you are gonna do CBD, go to him to get it. He drives a dope car too. I'm jealous.
Oh man.
Wait till you see what I parked behind you and made you look real bad, bro.
I've seen your big old honka-donk
No.
truck.
I brought the other one, dude.
The other honka-donk truck?
My pride and joy. You'll see, dude.
If it's a Prius, I
You're gonna
might
be so
punch you again.
No.
I can't. No, it's not a Prius, bud.
Guys, I'll film.
But
it,
you're
park it,
probably
find me in the
gonna
parking
punch
lot,
me.
upload it.
I'll let him punch me. I deserve it.
I don't want to punch anybody anymore.
So,
I don't know if you've been hit by an adult, but it hurts.
yeah, for
In
sure.
high school, it didn't hurt that.
For sure. So, yeah, go check out the CBD.
Yeah.
Buy from Drew. Drew's a super good dude.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really
him.
appreciate it.
Hey, man.
For sure. We've enjoyed
Hey, this was a
having
great conversation. I think we should have you on more often for sure.
you. Yeah.
Awesome.
If you're interested. So, yeah, we'll catch you guys at the end of the week. We're gonna do a special Godcast coming up. So check that out when it comes out. Have a wonderful week. Oh, and a Merry Christmas.
And God bless
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Kiwanza, whatever.
Kiwanza.